Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jen Ngomalo. So welcome to 2024. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. I hope that you guys had restful holidays and that you started the year well. Even if you didn't start the year well, it is still fine. We move, child. Like my year didn't start the way that I had hoped, but we moved, you know. So this is the first video of the year. And guys, I wanted to come back earlier. I wanted to come and give you content much earlier. I had content ideas and all the stuff. However, I realized when the year started, okay, when it didn't start the way that I had hoped, you know, the way that everyone wishes the year will start, it didn't start that way. It kind of put me in a very bad mood and in a very bad state, and I worked through that, you know. But then even after I worked through that, because I managed to post one content on my Instagram, but that was work. You know, it was paid work. I needed to show up for that, you know. But after that, I was just like, I cannot see myself sitting down and filming. And that's why it took me so long to just come back on YouTube. I had every intention to post my first video on the 3rd, but because of how things started, you know, sometimes in life you plan and you say, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to work on, this is how I foresee my life turning, or how I want things to happen, and then things don't always go the way that we want. And so what we just have to do is we just have to adapt and keep it moving. And so for me, I just had to adapt, and more than anything, I needed to give myself time to rest. I realized at the beginning of this year when we started that I'm actually exhausted. I pushed myself so much in December when it comes to content creation, and by the time I went home, I was already exhausted. And even at home, I didn't rest as much. I feel like the holidays were just so short. Like the holidays were extremely short. And so I didn't rest the way that I really wanted to. And so when I came back in January, when I came back this side, I just wanted to rest. And that's why I couldn't film any content. But now I'm back. This is the first video. Now that we are back officially, we are going to be back to our normal schedule. I'm still trying to figure out whether I'm going to be maintaining the schedule that I had last year of 2 videos, Wednesday and Friday and Sunday, or do I change the dates, like the days? So maybe I can post in another day during the week, and then during weekends post on Saturday. Because now I'm realizing that with my clients on the mentorship program, most of them, they are not in SA, and so I'm realizing that I need to be working on the calls. I need to be working on consultations on Sunday, and then maybe leave room for Saturday to be able to post. But then if I'm posting on Saturday, when am I filming, you know? Because the nice thing with the Saturday is that I can use it to film, edit, and then I know that the video is ready on Sunday. I don't know. I'll figure things out. I'm still trying to figure out when is the best time for me to post. I do want to try other days as well and see how the videos perform. But obviously it has to be practical. But with all that being said, let us get to the context of this video. Today we're going to be talking about habits that you need in order for you to level up in this year. So I want us to win this year. As I said when I started this video, things do not always go our way. However, it doesn't stop us from planning. It doesn't stop us from desiring things to go the way that we desire. So long as we put God in the center of things and ask God that God guide us in the things that we have set for ourselves, that let it be aligned with you or the purpose that you have for me. That's the energy we put out in the world with hopes that we'll receive that same energy. But obviously things don't always go our way. But we know that the most important thing is to learn to adapt and also just keep it moving. And so on this video, I want to share with you few habits that I really think that are crucial in order for you to just level up in 2024 when it comes to your finances. Make sure that you are always consistent, you are disciplined, and that you work on your goals. And so what are the things that we're going to be talking about? So I'm going to start with, I'm going to break it down into chapters. I think I have about 7 chapters, and it's not going to be, I'm hoping that it's not going to be a long video, but if it does become a long video, it is what it is, child. So let us get to the first chapter of the habits that you need in order for you to level up in your finances in 2024. So the first thing is setting goals. Guys, I know that for many of us, some people do not like setting goals, but if you watch my videos long enough, you know how much I love setting goals. Please do not skip this step. Even if you're a person that does not like setting goals, but at least set an intention. You know what I love about goals is that they give a direction to the path that you want to take. I always make an example that if you desire to move from point A to to point B. So let's say, for instance, you're planning to travel. You cannot just enter in the car and say, I am going. You're going where? You have to decide where are you going first so that you are able to see if you are in the right direction. Otherwise, if you just get in the car and say, I'm going, you're just going to drive around and round, then come back where you started. And so it's very important that you set goals, because it gives direction and it gives intention to the things that you want to work on, things that you want to achieve. And even if you do not want to make it like goal setting, you can call it intentions. Have intentions for 2024, things that you want to work on, things that you want to achieve in 2024 when it comes to your finances. This will help you to just have something to look forward to. That's the first thing. And also to know, and also to just guide your path when it comes to the things that you're doing, the way that you're handling your money on a month-to-month basis, because you can always look back to, what did I intend my year to look like? What did I intend to achieve this year? Am I in that path to achieving those things? And if you feel that you are not in that path, then you can quickly make adjustments, get back to the right navigation and get back on the road to the destination that you had set for yourself. So please do not skip the step. Set your goals, set the intention for the year, what you want to work on, what you want to achieve, what you want to focus on. The second chapter is develop a payday routine. Now, this is something that many of us do not have, but something that we normally do. But some people, they don't do this. Some people prefer that when they get paid, they sit with the money and leave things to last minute, because for them it feels good to just see the money sitting on their transactional account. Now, I want to encourage you to just leave that habit, because it's not going to help you in the long run. Because what happens is, if you are sitting with money in your bank account, knowing very well that it has responsibilities, you might end up forgetting certain responsibilities or being late in making certain payments. And so what I want to encourage you to do is develop a payday routine. Now, I'm going to do a separate video talking about how do you go about developing a payday routine that actually works. Now, on this video, it's just a matter of me telling you that this is one habit that you need to introduce in your finances in order for you to be on top of your finances, in order for you to make sure that you pay for things on time, in order for you to make sure that you are saving and you are investing, you are sticking to your goals. You're not just keeping money in your transactional account just because it feels good to see it there. One thing that I had to get used to when it comes to money is letting it go. It's being okay with the money leaving my account if it has to leave my account, especially if it has a purpose for it to leave my account. If I have to pay for my water and electricity, it makes no sense for me to sit with money knowing very well that I am due to pay for that just because it feels good for me to see money in my transactional account. And that is why I love saving, because when you're saving, you can then have money in your savings account then you can actually feel good by seeing it sitting there. The purpose of it is to sit there and make more babies. But when it comes to your transactional account, it is not a place that you just want to be keeping money sitting around. It is not a place that you just want to just keep money idle, because idle money is gone money. That is what Nicolette says. So that is the second thing that I want to encourage you to implement in 2024. The third chapter is budget monthly. Yes, I know I talk about budgeting a lot. I am a budget queen. I am a budget woman. I am an obsessed budgeter. I love budgeting. I look forward to budgeting each and every month, because for me, it's just nice to tell my money where it must go. It's just nice to be in control of my finances. I'm a person that likes control. Like, I like to be in control of my life. I like to be in control of the things that I do. Sometimes, obviously, certain things happen where I'm not in control of things. But in most cases, I like to be in control of my life. Obviously, I'm not saying that I determine everything that happens in my life, because God still has a say over my life and what has to happen in my life. However, as an individual that has a sound mind, it is very important for me that in things that I can have control in, I must have control in. It's very important for you to set a budget each and every month. I always say, if you set a budget, what you're doing is you are telling your money where it must go. Please get in the habit of budgeting. Budget each and every month. Do not say that, okay, because I budgeted last month, I'm going to use that budget. No, even if your salary stays consistent, like my salary stays the same majority of the time, but I still budget each and every month, because there are certain things that I may want to work on in this month. There are certain things that I might want to work on in this month. So budgeting is very important. As I said, you are telling your money where it must go. The fourth chapter is tracking your spending. Now that you have told your money where it must go, this aspect is basically saying, well, I gave you a mission to go and pay for for my water and electricity. I gave you a mission to go and pay for my rent, to tackle my rent issues. Now I want to see if you did just that. And so the tracking of your expenses is just that, or your tracking of your spending is just that, where you are sitting down and you are noting each and every item in your budget. So on your budget, you have your column which is budgeted, and then you have a column which says actual. On your actual, this is your tracking part. What I do is on my payday routine, when I sit down and I start paying for things, what I do is I sit down and then I look, as I'm making payments, I then look how much money did I actually make for this budget item, and then I note it down on my actual. This for me is my tracking aspect when it is my tracking part when it comes to my finances. I don't then go back and get my entire business bank statement and then note things down. For me, I find that to be counterproductive. I like to do it on my payday routine, where I sit down and then I note things as I'm paying for them, to say, actually, this is how much money I paid for this is how much money I put on this is how much money I saved here, because this then gives me an idea of, did I really do that, and did I really stick to the plan? And if there are variation, I like to see what was the variation. Did I pay more? Did I pay less? If it was more, by how much? So that in the following month, I'm taking those adjustments and I'm reflecting them on my budgeted, to make sure that my budget is always up to date. So this is one thing that I really encourage you to do. Track your spending. You don't have to get your bank statement at the end of the month in order for you to do this. I feel like that's just a lot, you know. Sometimes also when you see all of those digits in just one sheet, it just becomes overwhelming. But it's better when you are doing it on your payday routine. And also what I do is on my payday routine, for some of my debit orders, I'll open my bank account, I'll open my banking app on my phone, and then I'll just go and check on the money that went out, and then I'll check in line with the budget item that I have in my things, and then I'll just note it there. Chapter 5 is be intentional with your spending. This year, guys, let us leave this thing of being impulsive. Sometimes I know that we like that instant gratification. I want you to be intentional with your purchases. So ask yourself, is this a need? Is this something that I really need in my life right now? Is this a want? Or is this something that's going to help me some way in my finance, in my life? Ask yourself those 3 questions. Is this a need? Is this a want? Or is this something that I would like to have because it will improve my life in this certain aspect? So that you know if this is something that is urgent, that you want to deal with now, that you want to get now, or this is something that you can prolong, budget for it, and then in the following month you can buy it. So that you know that in all the things that you're buying, you are very intentional about it. When it comes to your spending, you are intentional. This is also going to help you to stick to your goals when it comes to the savings and investment goals that you may have. Because if you are always impulsive, what happens is you end up taking away from the money that you should be saving, or the money that you should be investing on a month-to-month basis. So I'm asking you this year, just try to ask yourself the most important things. Now, on my goals, a video that I'm going to be sharing with you on my finances, I'm going to be having sinking funds this year. And one of my sinking funds is going to be household, like home, house to home. And this is money that I'm going to be putting away for any home contents that I may want to purchase. Anything related to this home, this is money that I'm going to tap into. So this is a part whereby I really do not have to be worried about asking myself, is this a want, is this a need? Because I have a fund for that. But if in your budget you do not have a fund for something that you want to buy, it's very important that you ask yourself, is this a need or is this a want? Is this something that's going to help improve my life in some way? Those are questions you should be asking yourself, because you do not have this budget item, you do not have this budgeted for. And so if you go ahead and you buy it, that means that something has to suffer in your budget. But if you do have a category in your budget for this, you don't have to really worry about asking yourself, is this a need or a want? Because it's already reflected in your budget. It's already catered for in your budget. Chapter 6, learn to save. Let us be the girlies that save. Let us be the gents that save. If you're a person that was struggling in 2023 to save, I really want to encourage you to save this year. However, If you are drowning in debt and you're really struggling with debt, it's going to be difficult for you to save. It's going to be highly difficult for you to save because majority of your money has to go towards this debt and your living expenses. And so what you will then have to do there is tackle majority of your debts, especially the small ones, so that you can free up money to help you attack the other debts. But once you have attacked majority of your debts, I really want to encourage you to start thinking of saving. Join stokvels. Stokvels are perfect for savings. Join, like, open accounts like Time Bank account, perfect for saving. I like that their fees are so low that it doesn't take away from your money. And so I really want to encourage you to save this year. If you're a person that you see that in your budget right now you can afford to save, even if it's a minimum of 500 rands, even if it's 500 rands, 200 rands, just put that money away because it's going to come in handy down the line, be it that you need money. And one thing I love about saving is that it keeps us away from getting into debt because we've got this money that we can tap into, be it that there's something that arises in our lives that needs money. So really save this year. I really just want to encourage you to save. Join stokvels. And this thing of us joining stokvels for December needs to stop, guys. Sbadala, we are not our mothers, we are not our grandmothers who are obsessed about December and having like ukudla of samp and rice and maize meal and oil. Like, we are too old for that, guys. We are old, we are wiser for that, to know that December is not that much. It's a month that most people have money, and January is a month that is a struggle for most people. And so channel your savings for January, not for December. You can't be joining a stokvel for food. You cannot. You would rather play stamps, do the stamps as a ShopRite, where you buy those stamps, then those stamps will cater for food. But to say you are joining a stokvel where you come together in a group and you join a stokvel for food so that you can get 10 kg of rice, 10 kg of maize meal, 5 kg of oil. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Come on. We need to get serious, We need to get serious. We need to leave those things with our mothers and our grannies. That's their stuff, not us. Not us. So if you join a stokvel, it must be for money. And then that money, if you are going to get it in December, channel it for January. Even if you don't have kids, you still need money for January. Channel it for January. And then what you do is start saving for December. Okay, you will have your stokvel for January, but then also have some savings for December, even if it's 2,000, 3,000. But then you know that in December you've got 3,000 that you can contribute for groceries. Start thinking about those things now. I will share with you when I do my yearly my financial goals for 2024, my plan for the year, and you will kind of see how I am planning my finances. I'm starting now in January to think about December, now in January to think about January 2025, because that's just how I prefer to approach my finances and my life, because then it helps me to be ahead. Not to leave things on last minute, and then when it's close to end of the year, you start asking yourself, how do you plan for January? Me, I plan for my January of the following year in the current year that I'm in. Like right now we're in January, but I've made plans for 2025 in terms of what am I going to be doing in 2024 to make sure that in January 2025 I'm good. Ne? And then the last chapter, chapter 7, is learn to invest and do it yourself. I just want to stress this. Learn to invest and do it yourself. This thing of wanting financial advisors, as much as we like to encourage people to get financial advisors, but financial advisors, they cost. And most of the time, what they'll do is they'll sell you products that they're favorable to their companies. They like to do that. And so I really want to encourage you to learn to invest for yourself. There are platforms that will allow you to do this. Platforms that I talk about here, platforms that I put my money in them. And if I put my money in them, trust and believe that I do trust them. I do not put my money in anything that I do not trust. I just do not do that because I do not have money to gamble. I do not have money to play with. I work so hard for my money to just put it on things that I do not understand. So if I talk about a platform here, it's because I'm literally putting my money in. Like, there's so many emails that I get for collaboration from companies that I know nothing about, and from forex and trading companies and crypto companies. I'm just like, I am not going to bring that to my people, to my community, because that's something that I do not trust, I know nothing about, and I'm not putting my money in there. And so trust me that when I talk about a platform, that I'm putting money in there. When I talk about Time Bank, I'm putting money in there. I'm using that monthly to save. If I talk about Frank, I'm putting money in there monthly. It's not even a negotiation. Monthly, I'm putting in money in that platform to invest. When I talk about Easy Equities, it's a platform that I'm putting in money for me to invest. So look into doing things yourself. Look into learning how to invest. I really want to encourage you to learn to do these things yourself, and you'll feel so empowered when you do it yourself than when you have to go to the bank and say, can you do a 32-day notice for me? And that time, you don't even know what the money is being invested in. You don't even know how it's performing. And even if you are getting that interest, you don't understand how is it that it is calculated. Like, I just like the part of doing things yourself because it gives you a hands-on approach and you kind of get a good view of what your money is doing. Like with Time Bank, you see the interest coming in. You can see how much interest is coming in for the money that you have saved up for that. With Frank as well, you can see how much interest that is coming in. Like, I remember I got this SMS. I'll put it here if I still have it. I got this. I think I did screenshot it. I got an SMS to say that I got like 90 something rands this month on my, was it this month or for December? I think interest is like back paid. So I think it was for December. Interest that I earned on my money markets. 94 rands. You see there, I'm getting a notification, but more than anything, when I log into the platform, I'm able to see how much interest I have on my investment, and that for me is an encouragement to keep going. But when you take your money and you give it to a financial advisor and say, invest it for me, or you give it to a bank and you say, put it away for this period of time, like for this 32-day notice, what I want, you don't really get to be hands-on. You don't really get the same motivation to see what your money is doing, and that's encouraging you to keep putting more, to keep saving, to not stop saving. So I really want to encourage you to learn to invest for yourself, learn about investing, learn about the stock market, learn about these things so that you expose yourself and do it yourself, and you feel so empowered because you will know that you are on top of your finances. With that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and you found value here. Please take care and stay safe. Bye.